I've been waiting to ask the following question for like 6 months.
Oh boy.
Her Duell asks, can you please tell a ghost story in your best Strom Thurmond voice? Strom Thurmond, I guess, being an old-time senator from the South. you.
Well, it is Halloween. Well, back when I was a boy in Farquhar County, it was a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen. There was an old widow woman lived by herself at the edge of the swamp in a cabin, kind of a tumble-down old place. People would go to see her for medicines mostly. Got a horse down, kid down with the croup maybe, and didn't have the money to go to no doctor. Well, you go see the old widow woman. She'd give her some the herbs and the roots. Well, everybody knew that, but there was also whispers that the widow woman would make other things for a lot of money. Let's say you were interested in having a woman fall in love with you, and there seemed to be no other way to get her to pay attention. You might go to the widow woman. Or let's say you had a rival. Maybe it was in business, maybe it was in love. Maybe it was some woman's husband that would be better out of the way, or vice versa. Or maybe a parent who was taking a little too long to leave the inheritance, you know. Well, you go to the widow. She'd come up with something. And it was whispered. None of us knew, of course. It was whispered that if the widow helped you in some of these darker matters, you would get exactly what you wanted and exactly what you paid for. But you know, that old widow woman must have cast the wrong spell on the wrong man someday, because nobody heard from her. Usually you'd see her on Sundays. She'd never go to church, but you'd see her on Sundays selling baskets and bags of herbs and things like that. The widow woman didn't come to town that day. And a couple of days went by, and finally, one of the Hampson twins, I forget which one it was Sam or Todd, I don't remember. It was one of them. Anyway, one of the Hampson twins went out there, and he saw flies buzzing all around the cabin. And he goes in there, and there she was, with a pair of shears stuck in her neck, and she bled out right there. Well, the sheriff came, took away a lot of evidence, and some say there was some incriminating evidence that would have, in the wrong hands, would have done some pretty bad things to some of the top people in the county. Anyway, the sheriff took away a lot of evidence. The coroner took her away. There was nobody to bury the body, so she went into Potter's Field. Nobody could afford to pay for a funeral. Of course, she didn't belong to no church anyhow, so that was that. But that old cabin stood out there. And all us boys said it was haunted. We would never go near that cabin. But it so happened that one day there was this kid from out of town who was some relative of one of my friends. I forget how, some short-term relative. He was from California. And up Sacramento, California, somewhere like that. And that boy, he had heard the rumors. And he told us, he said, that's all superstition. Where I come from in California, we know that's nonsense. I will go out to this cabin, and I will show you that there's nothing to be afraid of. Well, people had heard things from that cabin. They had heard yelling and screaming when there's nobody out there. So we knew it was haunted. Sometimes you'd see lights out there where no lights should be. Well, the bunch of us went out with him, out there on the edge of the swamp. And that boy, I gotta tell you, he was brave. Not smart, but brave. He went out. We saw him go in. The light was lit as though the old widow woman was there. Well, suddenly he goes in the door, we see the door closed, the light goes out, and we hear this ear-splitting shriek of horror. And then the door opened, and the boy came out, and had a blank look on his face, and every hair on the top of his head had fallen out. And he comes up, and he looks at us, and we said, what happened? Wouldn't tell us. Couldn't say a word about it. And he was only kind of half-wit ever after. And then eventually his relatives took him back to California. And you know, until you folk elected him your governor, I never did hear from him again.
Wow.
How's that?
That was really good.
Was that a scary story?
That was a scary story, all right. Very good. Very nice.
Why did the Californians elect him governor?
Well, he probably operated on our level.
Ah, that would make sense. Because my dad would say, no one will ever vote for anyone smarter than himself.
Right.
All right, what else we got?
Yeah. Okay.